A crisp winter morning in the snow-covered backcountry of Utah. The sky was clear, and the mountains stretched endlessly, a playground for thrill-seekers and extreme sports enthusiasts alike. Among them was Ken Block, rally icon, fearless daredevil, and a legend in the world of motorsports. Known for pushing the limits of speed and skill, he had built a career on defying danger. But on this day, fate had different plans. What started as another adrenaline-fueled adventure would soon take a devastating turn, one that would send shockwaves through the racing world and beyond. Within hours, news of a tragic accident would spread like wildfire, leaving fans, fellow athletes, and loved ones in stunned disbelief. How could a man who had conquered some of the most dangerous terrains on Earth meet his end in the very environment he knew best? This is the story of Ken Block's final ride, the warning signs, the moments leading up to the crash, and the heartbreaking loss of a motorsports legend. But before we uncover the chilling details of that fateful day, we must first look back at the life of the man who revolutionized action sports and left an indelible mark on the world. Ken Block was born on November 21st, 1967 in Long Beach, California. From an early age, he was drawn to the world of extreme sports, immersing himself in skateboarding, motocross, and BMX riding. While his peers followed traditional career paths, Ken was fixated on speed, skill, and the pursuit of adrenaline. Little did he know, his passion would one day redefine the motorsports industry. In 1994, Ken co-founded DC Shoes, a brand that would revolutionize skateboarding footwear and apparel. His business acumen, combined with his love for extreme sports, turned the company into a global powerhouse. DC Shoes became synonymous with action sports culture, and Ken found himself at the forefront of a rapidly growing industry. But while his entrepreneurial success was undeniable, his true calling was still waiting to be discovered. Unlike many racing legends who begin their careers in childhood, Ken Block's journey into motorsports didn't begin until his late 30s. In 2005, he transitioned from business mogul to professional rally driver, joining Vermont Sports Car and competing in the Rally America Championship. His late entry into the sport didn't slow him down. Within his first year, he secured the Rookie of the Year title, proving that talent and determination could overcome experience. Ken's aggressive driving style, combined with his background in extreme sports, made him a fan favorite. His ability to control a car at high speeds, execute mind-blowing drifts, and fearlessly take on treacherous courses earned him a reputation as one of the most exciting drivers on the circuit. By the late 2000s, he was competing in the X Games, the World Rally Championship, WRC, and the Global Rally Cross Championship, securing multiple podium finishes and 5 X Games medals. While his racing accomplishments were impressive, it was his work behind the camera that made him a household name. In 2008, he released the first Gymkhana video, a viral sensation that showcased his extraordinary car control, precision driving, and daring stunts. The internet had never seen anything like it. The video amassed millions of views in days, catapulting Ken Block to superstardom. He followed it up with Gymkhana 2, 3, and beyond, each installment more extreme than the last. His Ford Fiesta rally car roaring through abandoned airfields, drifting inches from obstacles, and executing impossible maneuvers captivated millions. The Gymkhana series became an annual event, drawing massive audiences and cementing his legacy as more than just a racer. He was a showman, a pioneer, and an ambassador for motorsports. Ken wasn't just about spectacle. He co-founded Hoonigan Industries, a lifestyle brand that celebrated the rebellious spirit of car culture. As the head Hoonigan in charge, HHIC, he built a community of gearheads, racers, and thrill seekers who lived for speed and excitement. His Hoonicorn, a heavily modified all-wheel drive Mustang, became one of the most famous vehicles in automotive history, featured in countless stunts and racing showdowns. Even as he neared his mid-50s, Ken Block showed no signs of slowing down. Whether he was competing in extreme rallycross events, setting records at Pikes Peak, or shredding mountain roads in custom-built supercars, he remained at the top of his game. He was a devoted husband and father, a businessman, a mentor, and an inspiration to countless fans. His impact stretched far beyond motorsports. He had become a symbol of passion, innovation, and fearlessness. But for all his accomplishments, Ken was never one to let his guard down. He had faced danger countless times before, walking away from high-speed crashes, near misses, and brutal wrecks. He knew the risks better than anyone, yet he never backed down from a challenge. And so, on January 2nd, 2023, when he set out on a snowmobiling adventure in the Wasatch Mountains, he had no reason to believe it would be any different than the thousands of rides before. He had conquered ice, snow, and mountains his entire life. But this time, something was different. As the sun hung low in the sky and the crisp mountain air turned eerily still, Ken pushed forward into the rugged terrain. The slopes were steep, the snow unpredictable, and somewhere in the depths of the Wasatch backcountry, fate was waiting for him. What happened next would change everything. It was supposed to be just another thrilling day in the mountains. The Wasatch backcountry in Utah, known for its breathtaking scenery and deep powder, was one of Ken Block's favorite winter playgrounds. An experienced snowmobiler, he had ridden in some of the most challenging terrains across the world. But on January 2nd, 2023, something went terribly wrong. Ken had set out with a group of riders to explore the vast, untouched wilderness. The weather was ideal, with clear skies and fresh snow blanketing the landscape. As he maneuvered through the rugged terrain, his years of experience were evident, effortlessly weaving through the trees, carving up steep slopes, and pushing his machine to its limits. But in extreme sports, even the most skilled athletes are not immune to the dangers that lurk beneath the surface. At around 2 p.m., Ken was navigating a particularly steep slope in the Mill Hollow area of Wasatch County. Snowmobiling in such conditions requires immense precision, as the weight distribution and angle of attack are critical when ascending or descending a hill. According to reports, as Ken attempted to climb the incline, his snowmobile suddenly flipped backward, rearing up uncontrollably.
You're all right? You're all right? Hold on.
The machine, weighing over 500 pounds, came crashing down on top of him, pinning him beneath its immense weight. In an instant, the adventure turned into a nightmare. The force of the impact was devastating, leaving Ken motionless under the wreckage. The remote location of the accident added to the severity of the situation. His riding companions, who had been nearby but not immediately next to him, rushed to his side, desperately trying to lift the heavy machine off of him. Panic set in as they attempted to revive him, shouting his name, checking for signs of life. But Ken, the man who had survived countless high-speed crashes, rollovers, and near-death experiences behind the wheel, was unresponsive. A call to Wasatch County 911 was made immediately. The dispatcher, hearing the distress in the caller's voice, wasted no time in mobilizing search and rescue teams. Units from the Wasatch County Sheriff's Office, Utah State Parks, and the U.S. Forest Service were all dispatched to the remote crash site. The location, however, posed a major challenge. The area was rugged, heavily blanketed in snow, and difficult to access even with emergency snowmobiles and off-road vehicles. By the time paramedics reached the scene, it was clear the situation was dire. Despite their best efforts, Ken Block was pronounced dead at the scene due to the catastrophic injuries he had sustained. At just 55 years old, his life was tragically cut short in a moment that no one could have anticipated. News of Ken Block's death spread rapidly, sending shock and grief across the motorsports community and beyond. Social media was flooded with tributes from fans, fellow racers, and athletes from all corners of the extreme sports world. His Hoonigan racing team confirmed his passing in a heartbreaking statement. It's with our deepest regrets that we can confirm Ken Block passed away in a snowmobile accident today. Ken was a visionary, a pioneer, and an icon, and most importantly, a father and husband. He will be incredibly missed. The Wasatch County Sheriff's Office released an official statement as well. Mr. Block was riding with a group, but was alone when the accident occurred. The state medical examiner's office will determine the official cause of death. While foul play was ruled out, authorities noted that the unpredictable nature of the terrain and the sheer weight of the snowmobile contributed to the tragic outcome. The very machine that had brought him so much joy was the same one that claimed his life. Perhaps the most chilling detail of the tragedy was Ken Block's own final Instagram post, shared just hours before the accident. He had uploaded a series of photos showcasing his snowmobiles, captioning the post with a warning about the dangerous snow conditions. He referred to the snow as sketchy, an ominous choice of words that in hindsight felt like an unsettling premonition. It was as if fate had been whispering a warning that no one, not even Ken himself, could have fully understood. For a man who had spent decades pushing the limits of what was possible, it was never supposed to end this way. He had cheated death time and time again, but on that fateful day in the Wasatch Mountains, there was no escape. Ken Block, the legend who had inspired millions, was gone. Ken Block was more than just a rally driver. He was an innovator, a pioneer, and a cultural icon who reshaped the world of extreme sports. His influence stretched far beyond the track, inspiring a new generation of motorsports enthusiasts, stunt drivers, and content creators. His Gymkhana series, with its jaw-dropping precision driving, redefined how motorsports were presented to the world. The videos racked up hundreds of millions of views, proving that racing could be as much about spectacle as it was about competition. Beyond his daring stunts and business ventures, Ken was known for his humility, kindness, and unwavering dedication to his family. He was a devoted husband and father, and his passing left an irreplaceable void in the lives of those closest to him. His 16-year-old daughter, Leah, had already begun following in his footsteps, proving that the Block legacy would not fade. Fans and colleagues from around the world paid tribute to his impact, flooding social media with heartfelt messages. Fellow rally driver and friend Travis Pastrana spoke about Ken's legacy, saying, "Ken wasn't just a competitor, he was a visionary. He changed the sport and made it more accessible to the masses. His passion and creativity will never be matched." Even Formula One drivers and NASCAR stars honored him, recognizing his contributions to motorsports on a global scale. A year after his passing, his Hoonigan racing team announced that they would continue his legacy, ensuring that his vision for car culture and extreme motorsports lived on. Events were held in his honor, and tributes poured in from every corner of the motorsports world. Ken Block lived his life on the edge, always chasing the next thrill, the next impossible stunt, the next challenge. He built an empire from his passion and redefined what was possible behind the wheel. His story is one of triumph, creativity, and pushing the limits of human ability, but it is also a reminder of the risks that come with living life at full speed. If this story moved you, consider liking this video and subscribing for more in-depth explorations of the world's most shocking and heartbreaking events.